And welcome everybody back to the Game Junction podcast. We are here for episode 31 this week. We're going to go ahead and read from our sponsor. We're very thankful to have timelessgamer.net on board. So we're going to go ahead and read what we had put in here for their article of the week that we liked. We have, let me get this pulled up. Now, this closed. So we've got timelessgamer.net exists to inform and enlighten video game enthusiasts of all kinds. One of our favorite articles from this week is building a Game Boy Advance out of Lego bricks. This article talks about how some of the neat videos that are found on the internet like those who enjoy tinkering with video games. Someone took the inner workings of a GBA SP and made a cool Lego shell. You can check out their website for more articles like this, and we'll go ahead and get started. Doing good, doing good. Awesome. Definitely looking forward to having you. Looks like you're having some sort of issue there, Brandy. I'm not seeing on my end. I just probably would run in and out now while we're getting started and check what that does. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started asking you a couple of questions. Got to introduce yourself. So let's learn a little bit more about you for the viewers. Kind of dive into what got you started with everything that you're involved in. You can kind of go back from the beginning wherever you want to start with, but yeah.
I met Walter Day for the first time, and the rest is history, and we can go into details, but it's been just a crazy journey of meeting anyone from the top of the gaming community to just world record holders to developers, creators. I've met pretty much everybody in the gaming industry because of what has been, cycling through my last 15 years. So yeah, that's kind of how it started, and then I can go into what I'm doing now. But it's been an honor to meet all these different gaming celebrities. I call them, to be honest. I mean, they're not, in the retro community. These people are, the creators of Qbert, the creators of Rampage. I know, the creator of E.T. the video game. I mean, it's really cool to say that now they're my friends rather than someone I looked up to.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. I did want to let you know that your dad said he popped
Oh,
in.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
Well,
just
hi, Dad. Thank you
yeah,
for watching.
Just to let everyone know too, we did have a slight issue with audio at the very beginning, but we will answer some of the things that might have cut out just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there. We're very sorry about that, but I think
Okay.
some of these questions that we have may be able to catch a couple of
Yeah.
the few things that we were talking about right at the very beginning.
Yep.
Sure.
Um, so we did a little bit of that. We'll just go ahead and jump into what is it specifically that you do? I guess one of the things that we saw was the Old School Gamer magazine. So, like, what
Yes.
is that? When and how did you get involved? So, if you just want to talk a little bit about that for us.
Of course. Yeah. I'm really proud of the Old School Gamer magazine writing that I do for that. So again, Walter Day was kind of the mastermind behind this. He met a person. His name is Ryan Berger. He's the creator of Old School Gamer magazine back in 2017 or so. It's been about 5 or 6 years. And Walter said that, I have this guy who's really into gaming. He loves talking and writing about games. Do you want to maybe have him on your staff and write articles? And I jumped on it. I jumped on it right away, and I've been involved in it since issue one.
Wow.
We're on issue 34, I think now.
Okay.
But basically, here's a little copy of one of them. It's I don't know if you can see. It's Old School Gamer magazine. It's a physical
Yeah, I've got it.
magazine about retro gaming. It's bi-monthly. You can also I also write articles on the website. We have really great writers. We have Brett Weiss, we have Patrick Hickey Jr., we have Leonard Herman, we have really the big writers who are out there promoting gaming on staff. But yeah, I also do the admin for the website. So you can go to oldschoolgamer.com. Oh, actually, make sure I say that right. I don't want. I always have it on my favorites. It's Old School Gamer Mag. It's oldschoolgamermagazine.com. And there's articles in there from all these different writers, and yeah, I love it. I wanted to get bigger and keep growing and growing. Just like back in the old days with Nintendo Power and Game Informer, all those magazines back in the day. I think this is just as good, and it brings back retro gaming, and we do a lot of interviews and do a lot of game reviews and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of many different writing venues that I'm involved in.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the guys that I know Ryan Berger,
Yep.
obviously with the magazine, and also I've been involved a little bit with some of the guys from Sega Powered and their Amiga and Pixel Addicts
Yep.
magazine, and I love seeing some of this kept alive, just magazines themselves being kept alive by video games. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think probably in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, retro gaming has just exploded. People are collecting again. They're playing again. They're playing the games they grew up on with their children. I mean, my children are. I grew up. They were coming with me to my video game conferences. They were playing Super Mario. They were playing Zelda. So I think it's great. I think it's awesome that it's kind of come full circle back to the old days.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. So, we're kind of at a time where, you know, things were shifting for a while, like not really in the right path. So I think it's amazing. And just to hit a couple of these comments, um, someone said that magazine looks awesome. So it looks like we're gonna have some new people, jumping in on that. And then we'll
Yep.
just go ahead and shout out some people who have been popping in. I love that. I love the physical, the physical media, the physical aspects of it.
Yeah.
But we have Carl Peterson in here. We have Millennial Collector Ohio. We have Mysticles. We have Christina. Of course, we have, your dad in here. Retro Tiburon. So we have, yes, we have quite a few people in here. Oh, and there's some on Twitch. We have D Mazi. So we just have quite a few people who just keep jumping in. So if anyone has any questions too as well, just keep bringing them in.
I do want to make sure everybody can hear okay now. Make sure that we're still good on audio. I saw somebody say they couldn't hear me now. They can hear you guys fine.
Hmm.
Just to check. It's just a mess messing with OBS when you try to readjust everything. But yeah, we'll go and continue. It should be good.
Yep.
Can't. Okay. I'll get that adjusted while you guys are chatting.
Yeah, I could continue on. I mean, I was talking about my writing. So not only for Old School Gamer magazine, but I used to write for Game Room magazine. It was an older magazine back in 5 or 10 years ago about pinball and game collecting. But I wrote for them for a while. I wrote for Little Player magazine. It was a very short 2-year kind of project for video games for kids under a certain age. So there's no like violence or Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto stuff. It was all kids reviewing games for kids. So it was kind of a cool project. It kind of fizzled out after a couple of years. I want to bring it back, but it was just too busy. And I ended up writing 2 books from doing all this Walter Day trading card collecting, which I'll go into. But yeah, so I've written magazines, books. It's just been a really honor to be a part of this community.
And we have a couple questions coming in. Someone asked, so Mystically said, how long have you been writing for retro? Or I guess like in general, like writing at all?
Yeah, it just really started probably 2014 maybe. I started writing professionally and getting published things with my name on it. I've always done like little articles for online newspapers or like the daily, news for something in our area, but it was just a little blurb. It wasn't really anything big. And then I think, yeah, so like professionally where like I'm getting paid or I'm selling stuff, it started about 2014. Yeah.
So definitely, a while for, now. Just a while.
Oh yeah, it's I was just thinking the other day how realize how older you get until you go back of what you've done and realize that geez, that was 9 years ago. It's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it's been a great time, and I do have, so I'll do a shameless plug, but my second book, the Walter Day collection, which has the trading cards on it. You can get this on Amazon. So if you're interested in purchasing it, you can go to Amazon and search Walter Day Gaming Superstars, and it's $29.99. It's got a bunch of articles from gamers. It's got the history of the video game trading cards, which we can go into it, down the road here. But yeah. So yeah, my third book I'm going to be doing is on Smash TV, that old game from the 90s. So that'll be my third book. I'm going to do a Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm going to do a Kickstarter this summer. So look out for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been following some of that along on Facebook. Apologies.
Yeah, I've really got in touch with all the designers of Smash TV and the Williams Baileys Midway people back in the day, and it's so cool to talk to them and get the real stories behind the game. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, in the comments we have it says Stacy, Todd's sister, is watching too. It's
a family affair.
She's proud of you, Todd. So
thanks, Stacy. Thanks for watching. Yep. Yeah, she was excited. But yeah, so if you want, we can go into the trading cards because that's kind of the biggest thing going on right now.
Yes. So the Walter Day collection.
Yes.
What is it? What do you do with it? How many interviews? Just everything about it. We're just very curious about that.
Yeah. So, like I said, back in 2008, I met Walter Day, and right around that time, coincidentally, he wanted to start designing video game trading cards. He's always been kind of a supporter of honoring gamers and world record holders, and he thought it would be a great thing to do is to make trading cards. And I said I want to be on board. I mean, I've been collecting baseball cards and hockey cards since I was a little kid. I love having a physical card of some, sports memorabilia. And so I said yes. And so then around 2009, 2010, Walter created the first set of cards. I only have a little here. I mean, there's a ton now, but basically they're just trading cards with celebrities and world record holders on them. And on the back, it has, facts about their records and about their gaming history. When he started, he made the first set was like 50 or 60 cards. Back in 2010, I was honored to be on I'm number 48, card 48, which I got authenticated by Beckett. So it's like authenticated.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
But this year's 2023, we're almost at 4,000 cards printed.
Wow.
So in 13 years, Walter's printed almost 4,000 of these trading cards, individual trading cards, not duplicates. These are different kind of cards, and I've been on the project now since the beginning. I'm the admin of the website. You can go to the walterdaycollection.com, and you can see all my interviews with the gamers of these cards. And right now, I think I'm at 330 interviews I've done since the beginning. And they're all on the website. You can go in there and but again, I have to give props to Walter. Meeting Walter gave me this outlet to find and interview these gamers that I would have never met in my regular life. Never. I was just in an event in the local arcade here yesterday, and I was hanging out with the voice of NBA Jam, Tim Kitzrow, the artist of Mortal Kombat, Paul Niemeyer, I was hanging out with. So it's because of all this that we've talked about that I've kind of in the full circle of the retro gaming community.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's awesome.
and I saw something because I looked up this a little while ago. How many interviews have you done for this?
So for total probably for all my writings, I've interviewed over 500 people. I've interviewed Nolan Bushnell. I've interviewed people, world record holders. I've interviewed, who are some of the bigger ones too I interviewed, but trying to think off the top of my head. But like Howard Scott Warshaw, he created E.T. and Yara's Revenge from the Atari days. I'm actually going to meet him. He's going to be at CorksCon. I know you're going to be there. Yeah, so I'm going to meet him in person for the first time, but I've interviewed him twice for different reasons. He's in the second book. Actually, his card's on the cover. I don't know if you can see his card right there.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I would say about 500 interviews I've done total. Somewhere online, you'll find those interviews.
Yes, and I just wanted to shout that out because that is no easy task.
No.
So we just wanted to shout that out, give you some credit. Just
thank you. Yeah.
People know
Absolutely.
exactly kind of like what you're involved in, and then
thanks. Yeah, because for me, interviewing is, I don't know, I get nervous for every time I interview somebody, but it's just I feel relaxed when I interview them, like I've known them forever, and it's just let's put it this way: the retro gaming community, in my opinion, are the nicest people, the nicest group of gamers. It's just a great community, and I have nothing bad to say about anybody or anything in the great community. I've met so many people that it's been a kind of a privilege to know all these people.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like because we all have so much stuff in common, it's kind of like those friends where you may not talk every single day, but the second that you catch up with that person, it's like, you never left off. So you just, continue. You just pick up where you left off, and everyone seems to be very supportive in this whole entire, community, and that's the best part. Even everyone in the chat here. So we have Mystically saying, agreed, retro community about all the love. The common interest and passion connects us. So Thinking Inside the Box said that. So we just have so many people who agree with that.
Yeah, it's really everyone's got their kind of hobbies, collecting stuff, and I just have a knack for retro gaming. I don't know what it is. I play the modern games like PS5 and stuff, and the Switch I play, but it's just something about setting up the old games from the 80s and 90s and playing them on the original software or the original hardware is kind of, it makes me happy. I mean, it's just kind of just gives me a happy feeling to play them.
No, I mean, that's kind of, I think, where a lot of us are. I know me and Brandon, we love the retro stuff too. We can't completely switch over to all the modern day stuff.
Right.
So, it's like those are where the memories were created, and that whole nostalgia, and just like a whole simpler time. I think that's what we all kind of like focus in on. And, things have definitely shifted. Now you could say for the better and for the worst, but I think overall, I think a lot of people tend to lean towards the retro.
Yeah. And as you can see behind me, I'm more of a physical copy collector. I'm not into the digital copying. I think having the original cartridges and games and in the systems and playing them with the original controllers, I think is just the way to do it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I have a pretty crazy collection. I had over 4,000 games at one point, but I had to sell them off. I was running out of room. But I think I'm up to like 1,600 games, individual games, and I got about 22 consoles from the old days. Some of them in the boxes.
Awesome.
It's pretty
Welcome
cool.
back.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
To see if it helped the volume and everything else. So we should be good on my end. You guys have been good, but we'll see.
We're making our debut in Magic. So if anyone thinks that we would do better in that aspect,
oh yeah,
we're doing the disappearing act, and we just brought him back. So
yeah,
just
exactly.
in case anyone. No, we were just catching up on physical, media over, digital. Just
digital, yeah.
Yeah.
Him saying that he was rebuilding and collecting, and that's kind of the way to play, and that's what we all prefer too.
Yeah,
so
definitely a physical guy.
And the other thing too that I'm different maybe from some collectors is some people collect the game, but they put them in cases and they make sure they're in mint condition. I like collecting them and actually setting them up for people to play.
Yes.
When I go to these gaming conferences, and as we've mentioned, CorksCon, I'm going to be bringing all my consoles and games for people to play while they're there. And I've done that for years too. I just think it's awesome that the parents, the kids, even the grandkids are playing games that we played when we were little.
Absolutely.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have some games that are probably worth some good money, and I don't play those. But 99% of my games back here, I just set up and let people play. I think it's awesome.
So for our audience, we should probably ask, how do you feel about graded games?
Yeah, I'm mixed about graded games because, well, I don't know if everyone would know, but there was a controversy with the different grading systems a couple of years, maybe a year ago. They were kind of doing their own little thing in the background to make the value of games higher, which is kind of a scam. But I'm all for displaying. Like I said, I got my video game trading card, minted by Beckett. I just think it's cool. I don't think it's something that I would actually do. I guess it's like almost a year now to get a game graded. You have to send it and you don't get it back for like a year. I don't know. I just don't see don't get me wrong. I like watching people who get them and I like looking at them. I think they're beautiful, but I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. We generally feel pretty much the same way, so.
Yeah, and there's lots of people online and a lot of retro gamers who have a huge collection of graded games. I mean, some of them have the old ones from the 80s sealed. It's hard to find, and if you grade it, then it's preserved for forever. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, graded like Commodore 64 and Atari 2600 and 400 games are kind of interesting to see. Like if there's any I want to see, it's probably those because it's pretty miraculous that any of those have stayed in that sort of condition to grade for that long. So
yeah, that's why I see some people grading PS4 games and Xbox 360. I just don't understand it. Maybe in 50 years it would be cool, but I don't know why you would do it. But everyone's got their their stuff they like to do. So
yeah, thinking inside the box says the preservation is what I like about graded, and otherwise it's but yeah, I mean that's the same thing for me. Preservation is pretty much all I can see in it, but other than that,
yeah. I mean, I like some of my I have the kind of the original consoles back here, some of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all those. Sure. I put in protective cases, those from retro, those plastic cases. Yeah. So, but I would never the games. I would never grade them or for preservation purposes. But I think it's great. I think whoever preserve the amount of games they do should keep doing it.
Yeah, everyone collects a little bit different, and everyone plays a little bit different. So it just up to the individual person.
Really people collect coins. I mean, they preserve the coins, and same thing.
I bring it up every time that people collect toenails and jars too. So just
That's a real thing.
It's a real
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of people you know. But
I read the eBay article. It's real.
They
I heard it.
probably sell them too and make more money than anyone else that we know. So I mean,
yeah, we might be in the wrong field.
Probably. And just so everyone knows, everything that we talk about too is all of the links are going to be in the description. Yeah. I know he's brought up quite a bit, and then we also have another thing that we want to talk about: the Video Game Summit.
Yes.
What is it? When? Where? Just, I guess, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do every year. So I said earlier in this podcast that in order to meet Walter Day, I went to the Video Game Summit in Lombard at the time and asked Dan if I could help. Just kind of help him out with this. And at that time, we probably were bringing in 50 to 100 people, which is fine. It was fun. But I kept every year, working with Dan and getting it bigger and bigger and bigger. And so basically, it's a one-day video game conference, typically in July. This year, it's July 8th. And basically, it's just a one-day event where, again, I set up all my consoles. Some celebrities come in. We get a ton of vendors selling old games and special items like keychains and different, swag and stuff like that you can buy. And right now we're probably bringing in 400 to 500 people. I probably would like to get bigger, but I just haven't marketed it as best as I could. I just kind of kept it small, like a family kind of small gathering of people. But yeah, so I have this here, basically I have a bag we give out to people who come, the first 100 people. So that's kind of the logo.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, but you can go to videogamesummit.net. We'll put that in the chat. And that's the website for our upcoming show, which is July 8th. And this year it's in McCook, Illinois. This is our first time there. We were in Villa Park at the Odeum for many, many years, but they closed down, unfortunately. So we found a new place similar, and it's in a new location, but hopefully we'll bring people out. And this year I'm going to definitely market it, and if people spread the word, we're going to have a good turnout this year. So I did that so I've been doing that for about 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's to me, seeing the families playing old games and him smiling and being happy is just, that's what it's all about. That's why I do it. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just seeing everyone come together, seeing it grow and grow. That has to be something that's, super exciting every single year. And then just seeing the joy on everyone's face and bringing together all different ages and different people, and just everyone comes together and has a blast, and we can all have that in common. Forget about all of our worries, just spend some money, play some games, and that's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's almost like therapeutical for me as well. I'm at peace when I'm in the retro gaming community. I don't know, it's just something about it that just makes me happy. So anyway. Absolutely. But yeah, definitely come out to the Video Game Summit if you're in the Chicagoland area. Even if you're not, if you're in the Midwest somewhere, to come out. We'd like to have you guys out, actually, if you can come out July 8th. That would be great. I don't know if you guys are far away, but
well, I have to check the schedule. Do you know offhand where you got going on for early July? I'm not too sure, but we'll definitely check, and
we'll talk. Yeah.
We'll definitely link up. It sounds like it could be a possibility, and we definitely share it.
And we'd love
that'd be great.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk.
Definitely. And then I also have here YouTube channel. So what got you into creating content on YouTube, and what is it that you do?
So my YouTube channel is nothing crazy. I just at one time just figured I wanted to display kind of my collection somewhere. So I started doing that, and I created a YouTube channel maybe 3 years ago or something, maybe a little more than 2 years ago. And then I felt obligated to keep going because people were subscribing. So I started. I edit just a little. I'm no YouTuber, trust me. but you can go on there, and I have a lot of gameplays. I play a lot of games and film it. I have an arcade machine at home. I film the different games. I do unboxings of some things, nothing crazy. But after a couple of years, all of a sudden I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So people are still subscribing. And so I'm just keep putting content out there. So yeah, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's Todd Friedman. And you can find fun little games on there. I have cool like edited videos where I display all my items with music. So I put every single old school gamer magazine that we've been published, and I put it to music. And
that's awesome.
I had like the amiibos, all the ones I have. I just put them, kind of showed people what I had. But it got a lot of views, so I just kept doing it.
That's awesome, and that's like like the whole creative outlook on everything. It's like your time to just put a little bit out there, and then if someone appreciates it, that's just kind of what keeps you driving, and that's awesome.
I have no end goal. I enjoy putting stuff out there. If I get 20 views, fine. If there's one video I have like 2,000 views, oh, okay. So, it's just a little side hobby. But then I'm like, because of my OCD, I guess it is, I feel like I have to put something there every week because people are subscribed. So now I'm stuck doing that. And same with Facebook. My Facebook page, I seem to need to put stuff out there a lot because a lot of people are looking at it. So it's a side thing. It's nothing crazy.
Awesome though, seeing all of the stuff that you do, I'm sure that like so many people, especially watching, I'm sure that so many people they would love to get involved with different things, and they would just love to kind of jump into this. What would your best, like little tips or advice or something be to try and do something to contribute to this?
Oh,
yeah.
Whole thing that you do?
I mean, there's so much out there that even stuff I don't even do that you can just kind of search and find people who are in podcasts like you guys, or you can find people in chat rooms and kind of just, tell them what you're interested in, and they might find someone who knows someone that gets you like a job or gets you some side work or gets you involved more. I mean, I've kind of, this domino effect has kind of just been talking to people who know people, meeting people, and then, just doing different things. I used to help out at the Midwest Gaming Classic years ago. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should do my own. And so then, I got with Dan and helped him with the Video Game Summit. So it's just, if you're passionate about something and you really want to do something about it, there's a ton of people out there, and I could even help out too to find the outlets. And it's not just Chicagoland. Every state almost is just huge on retro gaming.
Oh
yeah.
I love watching like on Twitch. There's people who just stream their game store, and I just watch. I'm like intrigued by the by the game store of watching people buy games. It's just crazy. But yeah, I would recommend just going out there on the internet and finding gaming podcasts and chats and finding something you love, and then just asking people if you can help out. It's pretty easy.
Some great tips right there. You can find anything on the internet. What a time to be alive,
I mean, seriously, we couldn't do what we're doing. I couldn't do what I'm doing today back in the early 80s and 90s. I mean, it was just unheard of. It was kind of, everything was local in your own town. And now it's just, you can go anywhere. I mean, I've talked to international people outside the States for gaming. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess just to kind of like throw it on back, I know a couple people earlier were asking about this, but since I had the questions here, I wanted to bring it up at this time. What are some of your first gaming memories? Like, what are some of those things that brought you into this whole entire gaming world?
Yeah, my first memory, because I was around the age where Atari came out, but I don't believe I played Atari. My first memory is the NES and the Intellivision. I do remember playing Atari at like my grandparents' house. They had Pac-Man, that old classic Pac-Man for Atari, which is not the greatest, but yeah, NES. I remember going to friends' houses and having, staying at their houses till 2 or 3 in the morning playing Mike Tyson Punch Out or playing RBI baseball on the NES. And the whole Nintendo Sega wars started, and I was on Team Sega at the time. So I was getting the Sega Master System, the Genesis, all the different Sega, and I was kind of anti-Nintendo, which is kind of reversed now. I'm kind of a huge fan of Nintendo. As you can see, I have like over 600 NES games. So yeah, those are my early memories. Is just getting the new old like the systems and playing them. I remember I have a friend. I don't think he's watching, but he would definitely tell you more. We would play NHL '94 for the like Sega Genesis for like 30 hours straight. We wouldn't even sleep. We would just do like a complete season of NHL '94. I was like, I look back and it's just so fun to think about. But yeah, those are my earliest days. Nintendo and Sega is kind of like when I started.
That's awesome. And we even have Carl Peterson in the chat. He's saying, woohoo, Master System, because I know he's a big fan of it. So
yeah, I found a picture of me holding the Sega Master System when I got it for the holidays, and I put it on Facebook. And it's funny to see how young I was holding the. It's like now people are like, why did you open the box? You could have saved it. Like who's gonna save that?
Then, right? We didn't know that people were going to care.
Yeah, I mean. It was just so funny to see that. So it's kind of cool that I still have that picture.
Do you guys remember the Nintendo 64 kid YouTube video from forever ago? Like early in YouTube, he's just going.
Oh,
crazy.
when he gets it,
yeah,
just going crazy.
Yeah.
Even Omega095 is saying you grew up more with a Genesis than a Super Nintendo. You're a legend. Those who grew up with Sonic are legends. So.
Thank you. Well, thank you. All right. No, yes, I was Team Sonic for sure. And then actually, after Sega Nintendo, I still wasn't Nintendo. I was going to Sony. Then I was a PlayStation person with Crash Bandicoot. So I was never on the Nintendo's run until probably 10 years ago or something like that. But yeah, Sega's just put out some good stuff. I mean, even the Dreamcast, to be honest with you, I love the Dreamcast. It didn't get a good rap, but they have some good games on the Dreamcast. Even the Sega CD was pretty kind of out there, and for its time, it was kind of really, really cool technology.
A lot of good RPGs on there.
Yeah. Sega CD is pretty. I have some good games on there. I still play some of those games.
And we even have a bunch of people coming through. So we have Omega095 talking about the Sonic Movie 2 song. And then even we have I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's C. Mazi. My favorite games were Zelda, Contra, and the original Mario Brothers. And then they said, I remember when Sonic came out. I did the Sega for a bit.
Yeah, got the Zelda.
Oh, perfect.
I love it.
I didn't even see that at first. And then Carl Peterson said, I will completely agree about NHL '94. The game was so good. One of my personal favorite is ice hockey games. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
definitely.
And then Return of Soma said, I was multi-platform in my younger days. And apparently that is the correct pronunciation. So we are.
Oh, good. Yeah, speaking of hockey, even like the NES ice hockey, the original, was so fun. I played that for hours.
Oh yeah.
It was so simple, but it was so fun.
Definitely.
Especially when games were like called like what they were, like ice hockey or like
and tennis,
golf or it was that. Like they didn't have to pull in all these people, all this like crazy stuff. Like it is what it was. Baseball.
They didn't need a year yet.
Yeah. One of my early yeah, right. Sequel. One of my earliest memories, actually, I'm not a PC gamer. I never was. Until the reason I bring this up is because in the late 80s, maybe, I did have a PC, and that's when kind of gaming was kind of like, Doom was coming out and all the different games for the PC. I really had got into like the original John Madden football games. It's crazy to look back at those games, how you can like, just the graphics were just insanely different. But that was probably my earliest memory of PC gaming was John Madden football. I think I had like a Tandy 1000 computer or something crazy like that. Um,
Radio Shack.
but, yeah, but there's so many computers back then. But the PC, the gaming on the PCs is just insane. I mean, I do know a lot of the people who are touring and playing online gaming, and I'm more power to them. It's incredible what they can do on some of these games, and they're making a lot of money doing it too.
Yes.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
that's what C Mozzie's saying. My son is a PC gamer and streamer, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's great to see, more and more people get into this, because then that just
Yeah.
keeps it alive, keeps it going.
Absolutely.
And you know what also is fascinating to me is those speedrunners. The ones who, I mean, they take games from like Zelda Ocarina of Time or some random game, and then speed run it, and they beat it in like 3 hours. It's just insane how I don't know. It's just, I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, they find all these crazy exploits too, like things that we didn't know about to finish the game
Right.
in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's crazy. And like back then you didn't have like YouTube or anything, so you didn't really know where secrets were, but people are finding secrets that no one knew. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If you hear a dog barking, I'm sorry, that's my dog in the background.
No worries.
And then we have return of Soma saying, I've been gaming since the 80s. Most of the time I was Team Nintendo, and then it was the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube came out. That's when I went multi-platform. Then we have C Mozzie saying, I played Frogger on an Apple II, so that's awesome.
That's
and then
cool.
Also saying, yes, that's why I have Twitch. I watch him. His friends and followers are amazed that I support him. I think that's great. That's
really
that's
awesome.
really great.
Yeah.
The support.
Yeah, my kids are older now, but they still play once in a while Fortnite. That thing is just still alive and kicking.
It seems like it's never going to die.
Same with Minecraft. Never going away.
No.
So, speaking of those games, what type of games do you enjoy playing, like, now? And then what about the systems? Like, what systems are you gaming on?
Yeah. So the person who mentioned Zelda, the original Zelda on the NES, the gold cartridge, I remember standing in line and getting it, is my all-time favorite game for any system. I mean, I'm just a huge Zelda fan. I'm not necessarily a super fan where I know the history and all the stories behind Link and everything, but I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Zelda 1 and 2 and stuff like that. So Nintendo is my all-time favorite system. Other than that, I would say the Genesis is number 2. And then actually, if you look at it more modern, it's the PlayStation 3. I really like the PlayStation 3 system. Some amazing games and stories and RPGs on that system. But I typically play I guess RPGs, like Final Fantasy is my all-time favorite RPG game. Final Fantasy 7, excuse me, 7. So I do play a lot of RPGs, but then I kind of go back to old school, like Sonic we were talking about. I'll play Sonic for hours again. I'll just replay it. And, other games like that. The GameCube, play a lot of the GameCube games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends what mood I'm in, really. I have so many consoles, I just kind of break them. Like the Nintendo 64, I think, made some amazing games. So I play a lot of those. And then, I'm trying to think of the ones I got. Like I have old ones like the Odyssey.
Yes.
Not many people are aware of that one, but like the Odyssey has some pretty fun games that back in the day. So yeah, I'm kind of all over, but Nintendo would be my favorite.
No, that's awesome. I think that's where a lot of people in the comments are saying.
Yeah.
We have, yes, the original Zelda, so C Mozzie saying that. We also have Tomorrow's Nostalgia saying that they are dropping by to say what's up, coming in on Facebook. People are saying, does anyone recall the King's Quest series by Sierra,
Yep.
in particular King's Quest 6?
So I've actually interviewed the creator of Sierra, Roberta Williams. She created Sierra Games, and I interviewed her on King's Quest and what was the other one? It's King's Quest and I'm drawing a blank, but the Quest series. I interviewed her and she was talking about how she created all those games, and I think it's fascinating.
Definitely.
That's awesome. So there you go. Return of Soma. And then we also have your dad saying this podcast is more entertaining than March Madness. So
Yes. There's too many upsets. Too many upsets in March Madness. Thank you. Speaking of Nintendo, go ahead.
Omega 095. I grew up a lot with Mega Man Zero, and ZXR masterpieces. If you can convince Sega to get Mega Man from Capcom, so they definitely want Mega Man Frontiers, a new Mega Man game, not collection.
Mega Man's pretty cool. I did get into that a little. The Mega Man series is pretty awesome. The original is probably the most classic for me in the Nintendo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a good one. I approve that game.
For sure.
But I was gonna show you. I just had it right behind me. But I don't know if many people are aware of this. If you're a retro gamer, you are. But Nintendo came out with a top loader system. So you could play the NES games on, from the top instead of sliding them in those darn little cartridge holders. But I didn't know about this when I grew up, and now all of a sudden I found out about it like 3-4 years ago, and then I had to get one. But
I almost
stuff like
got
this.
one last week. I tried to work out a trade with somebody at a game store, and we just couldn't end up coming to a deal. But I've been after one for like 10 years, so.
Good. Yeah, definitely got to get it. Yeah.
Things I wanted with the dog bone controller.
Yes.
So that's one of the.
It's my favorite. It is my favorite controller of all time. I had that controller when I was a kid.
There it is.
But not the system. I had a regular NES.
It does have the longest cord in the history of the world. Hold on.
It's pretty long.
We should get a little thing that says 8 hours later.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, look how. I wish we had this long cords back in the 80s. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying.
I love that controller.
Yeah, it's the NES. That is a good controller. I definitely agree. But the NES controller, the original, is probably my favorite controller of all systems.
It's a good one.
I don't.
Phantasmagoria. That was the other one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was wondering in the chat, whoever's listening, what their favorite controllers are, because that's something I always am fascinated by. What about you guys? What do you think? What's your favorite?
Retro-wise, for me, is somewhere I'm very nostalgic for like the Jawbone controller, but I probably would say in a controller style like that, probably the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know. I really like the Genesis 6 button too. I think that one's nice.
That is a good one. Yep.
I'd say the Nintendo 64.
Just
kidding.
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
She's not kidding though. It's her favorite system.
No, I really do probably have over 100 and some controllers for that system. Like all different ones, not even like
she's
the
a
same.
really?
64 nut. Yeah, she's nuts.
But no.
I love this. I love the 64. I love the 64, but I have to be honest, that controller is so hard to use. Oh my gosh.
It's terrible. I was just making a joke because I made a video earlier this week shouting out the new Retro Fighter controllers that they sent me.
I was ready to grab it, but I don't want it to fall on me.
I was like, this is different. No, I like the simple one. Like even like the Super Nintendo controller, like just like a simple little layout. And then if we're going into like modern, I would say like anything from like GameCube, and then of course like the newer style controllers.
The
like
new ones are great. Like the Switch Pro controller feels like maybe the most comfortable controller I've ever used. But
I have that. I use that. I don't use the little Joy-Cons at all. I use the Pro controller.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It doesn't work right.
But 360 controllers are also very comfortable as well. Like they just feel really ergonomic and.
So I was going to mention that. Like Microsoft's, I just can't get a good feel of the Microsoft controllers. Like the original Xbox was a paperweight. I don't know what that was, but but even even the newer ones, I just can't get used to them.
Is it the offset sticks? You don't like the way the sticks feel? Is that the problem?
It's the sticks and just the buttons, the layout of the buttons for me. I mean, but then again, I've always played PlayStation. You can't really compare the two; they're so different.
Yeah, they're really different.
I try to play Halo. I just cannot control my guy. Tough.
Yeah, we're starting to get some comments in, but I'll cover a couple that I missed a little bit up. Tomorrow's Nostalgia said, I'm also a Zelda fan. I personally missed out on Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. I, too, am a Final Fantasy fan as well. So we have that. And then Omega 095, Sega proved they can make a crazy open-world combat game with Sonic. A Mega Man into the style perfect, and there's fire soundtracks. Oh God, please save Mega Man. If that ever happens, haha. And then it just says Facebook user. It doesn't say a name. It says
Sometimes it happens, yeah.
Yeah, it says, are you guys ordering Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse on Switch or PS4?
I am not.
I'm not too sure. I didn't.
Yeah,
Not sure about that
That
one.
was a new Fatal Frame. I might have to look into it though now.
Yeah.
And then we have.
I've been playing. Yeah.
No, I was just.
Oh, I was gonna say I've been playing
Mario.
Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch. That's kind of my one game I've been playing.
Oh, okay.
That's a great game.
I like
Yeah.
that one.
I love that one. Are you excited about the Super Mario
Go back
Bros.
and
movie?
Oh yeah. The coincidence is I have twins. Their birthday is April 5th, and that's when the movie's coming out.
That's awesome.
That's like a perfect excuse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
I might be seeing it on April 6th. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. I'm excited. I want to go to the new Nintendo Land. You see that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
looks wonderful.
Yeah, I've seen people going. It's pretty cool.
We have.
I do have to. Oh, I was gonna say I do have to say I have a pretty crazy collection. Other than games, it's up there.
Okay.
I think a majority of my stuff are Mario stuff. I have a lot of Mario's in my Super Mario stuff in my collection.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we have a lot of Mario fans. Who
For
who
sure.
watch.
Yeah, how can you not? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading this, you know. Just
Oh, I ordered that. I actually that's on my. I'm getting that from Amazon.
Yeah, I got my daughter one. And I was like, I gotta get me one too, and we read it. She likes it. So.
That's awesome. That's funny because I never saw it before, and now you have one, and mine's coming in the mail. That's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's perfect timing because Omega 095 said you guys will jump into Mario movie next month, right? So of course, I think we're all on the same page.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be scrutinized by a lot of people. I think it's going to be good, but you're going to get those super heavy Mario people that are going to nitpick it. Hopefully not, though.
Hopefully not.
Looks good.
Does look good.
Hopefully, we don't get too many critics or critiques on it
The
because
Chris Pratt haters.
do we
Yeah.
all know the first Mario movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best movie of all time.
I mean, what do you expect? It has to be better than that. So
It will be better than that.
That was a good movie. Get out of here.
I do own that movie. It is pretty good.
I like it better
Um,
now, but when I was a kid, it was terrifying.
Oh, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Coopers were scary to say the
Like
least.
the little heads, the little
Yeah.
creepy heads, like just like.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
Yeah, the Chris Pratt thing, I still see Chris Pratt as Emmett in the Lego movie. I can't get him out of that, but
Yeah,
we'll see how he does with Mario.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it'll be, pleasantly surprising, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then for the controllers, we have Tomorrow's Nostalgia saying SNES is the favorite controller, hands down. Carl Peterson said the 6-button Mega Drive or Genesis one is also comfy. And then Return of Soma said, TurboGrafx 16, Bonk's Adventure with Keith Courage and Alpha Zones comes to mind. And regarding N64, I like both Castlevania 64 and Legacy of Darkness. Thanks again, Omega, for stopping in. And then we have, not sure how to pronounce it, over on Twitch saying, hey. And then we have C. Mozzie saying, oh yes, I didn't like playing Halo. However, I loved watching my ex-husband play it. And then we
Nice.
have more
Okay.
people asking about Castlevania on
Ooh,
here.
that's good.
And Bloodstained.
I love both.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are good. Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, the original Castlevania. That's one of my favorites too. Yeah, it's classic.
Oh, the name was Dan AVC. Said Todd knows me.
Oh, that's Dan. That's the guy. That's the guy who created VGS.
Oh,
Perfect.
well, hey,
Oh, that's
Dan.
good.
There's Dan. Yeah,
I think I
he's
was,
my
like,
co-part.
reading it all together, and I was like, oh, I do not want to butcher this. I was gonna add Dan together with that.
Yeah, That's Dan. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's really involved in VGS, and he actually starts. I think he's got like an Atari Age podcast or something like that. He's been with Atari Age since the beginning.
Nice.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of, I'm a big Atari Jaguar fan, so I've bought a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, so is Dan. Yeah.
I'm going for the full set. I think I'm over halfway there. I mean, I know it's a smaller one, but I'm trying to complete multiple sets at one time, and it's a little difficult at times because I'm like, you know, that person like, oh, I'm collecting Super Nintendo. Oh, is that a this? You know.
Listen, she didn't even know what the Atari Jaguar was until she met me. So let's.
What are you talking about? I got pictures timestamping all of that way before I knew you.
You know, out of all the consoles I own, I do not have a Jaguar. I do not have a Jaguar.
You gotta get one.
Yeah, the prices.
I know. I don't like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The homebrews coming out for them are great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Jaguar, the Neo Geo. That's a tough one. Do you get that?
Yeah. No.
That's a toughie. So those two. What's the other one? Oh, the 3DO, the Panasonic. But I think the rest I have. Even had the Virtual Boy. Remember that? Jeez.
It was great for your eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Excellent.
It was crazy.
I've got this little, where is it? Device right here that lets you play all the Virtual Boy games, like on one card.
Ooh, that's a cool. I don't have that.
Yeah,
ooh,
pretty cool. That's a good way because they're expensive. I mean, just what Jack Bros alone is like what, Brandy? Like $1,500 or something.
That game and like 3 more games. And Jack Bros, I keep seeing anywhere between like 600 on up for a good label, and that's not even in the box. So
yeah, in the box it's like 1,500 or maybe
I'm
more,
hoping
right?
that I can find one at a convention or something. So that's on my list because I'm trying to quickly complete that, and then the game.com. I only need 4 more games for it. So I keep getting sidetracked. It's a lot, but we're getting there.
Are you guys fans of using eBay, or do you like to go to the conventions and get those stuff?
I use everything, but
whatever's cheaper. No, I mean, I like to find that stuff in person and like go to the conventions and go game hunting. Like me and Brandy love that stuff, but a lot of the times, like, my experience is like the past few years, it's been more expensive trying to find it in person. So
yeah, like I said, retro gaming is getting hot, and that means the prices are going up.
Yeah. For
yeah,
sure.
and I'm just thankful I started in a time where things weren't quite as expensive, and I had some connections in Japan at the time. So like 7, almost 8 years ago now I've been collecting, and I literally had one system to my name, my childhood N64, the Jungle Green from my childhood, and a couple games. But everything that I've since collected, I'm so thankful that I started when I did, because prices were not like they are now. And they weren't even the cheapest then, but to me it was so easy to find stuff, to travel, to go on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist at the time, eBay, and just, making connections on these Facebook groups and stuff. But nowadays it's getting so difficult to find the things that I want. Like I can walk into a game store and be like, I literally own everything here. And then it's
nice.
It's a little unfortunate at times.
Yeah. The one, my biggest accomplishment, I don't know if that's the right word, is on Facebook Marketplace, someone was selling an in-the-box Atari Lynx with 5 games. So I got an Atari Lynx in the box for 5 games for $20.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I felt like I got a score. I actually found a complete in-box Lynx, and it was like I'm trying to see what store it was. There was a store that bundled 5 games in the box with it, like it was like a starter package, and I paid $150 for it, and I was like, oh my god, this is a steal.
That's still good. No, I actually, if I remember, it was like 7 years ago. I gave her more. I mean, the $20 is just, that was insane. So I think I gave her 60. I don't remember, but that's still pretty good.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah. yeah, but the rest I kind of find them when they're low. I don't pay high prices for games.
Right.
I just can't. Like, I'll never finish my NES collection. It's just too expensive.
Yeah,
There's just no
Stadium
way.
Events was a killer.
There's just no way. But
I mean, who wants to play Stadium Events anyway?
exactly.
I've played it before.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. The one game that I could say I have is Bonk's the Bonk one on the NES, Bonk's Adventure.
That's a good one.
That's my big game of my whole collection. That's kind of the most expensive one.
Awesome.
But
That is awesome.
Yeah, that one's up there. I've seen it at different game stores for, I guess like
Yeah.
at the peak, like over $1,000. So that's
yeah, it's around 1,000. But then you got like the Flintstones, and you got all these games for like $3,000. Like, what the
Little
heck?
Samson.
No, Little Samson is a great game though, but not for the.
That
price.
is a good game. That is good. No,
Right.
man.
The
Oh,
price
no.
Crazy.
is not worth the price.
I actually know, I haven't seen him in years, but I know one of the people that played in the original Nintendo Championship that had the stadium events.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He competed in it, yeah. I think he had the game, but he had to sell it. Financially, he was going through some time, so he had to sell it. I think he sold it for like $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes for more now.
Like
which is-
Oh, nowadays, yeah. Now this is like 7 years ago.
Yeah, I had a
But-
chance to buy it right at the beginning of my collecting, so I guess like 8 years ago, and a pawn
yeah.
shop had it for $1,000, and I was like, who would pay that much for a game? I don't even want to spend $20 on a retro game, and that was like, I guess like my missed opportunity and something that I regret every day.
Wow.
I know. I still wouldn't want to pay $1,000 for it.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
that would have
game.
been a great investment.
It's
You
a
know,
good
back-
investment. I know. I'm just
now.
saying I don't want to. Would I? Yes, I would have.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm a
know.
cheapskate.
I really am too when it comes to games. I mean, I love the dollar bins at gaming conventions. I go in the
Yeah.
dollar bins.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love going in like the cheap bins. You find some of the coolest stuff.
I found a freaking the $150 3DO flight stick in one of those for $1.
No
at the
way.
convention. Yeah, in November. I was
Nice.
like, holy crap! All right.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even
Yeah,
have some people in
Yeah,
the
go
chat. It looks like C. Mozzie had to go. Said, I have to go. This is a great podcast. I'm glad Todd's sister Stacy invited me. So that's awesome. Awesome to
Oh, great. Thank you.
see them come in.
She spread the word.
Yes. I just wanted to, pop in real quick.
Oh, yeah.
To say that.
That's
We
awesome.
do appreciate,
Nice.
everyone in the comments. We do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, it looks like we also have other people saying Return of Soma says when it comes to collecting retro stuff, I just go to Lost Ark Video Games in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm not
Oh.
sure if I've been there. I might have actually been there. I'm not. This was you.
I've never been there. Yeah.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that does.
Were you guys excited about Metroid Prime Remastered?
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that yet, but that's
I
cool.
don't have it yet, but it looks great. I watched. I don't know which side I'm on. I watched him actually stream it.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
great until I died
Oh, you-
and lost like 4 hours of progress. So
Oh no.
now I don't want to play it anymore right now.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Ouch.
not too happy about that. But it's great.
Speaking of Metroid,
it looks really good. So
oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember I remember getting the original DS, the Nintendo DS. And everyone was like looking at me. I was like at an airport and I had the two screens. They're like, "Whoa, what is that?" That's amazing. And I was playing Metroid.
I love that game.
That game is insane.
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess jumping into a little bit of news, I guess we can hit some of these news topics real quick. Since obviously that game just came out. This is a little, bit of like a sad note, but I wanted to say this. We had Lance Reddick, who passed away at age 60 on March 17th. Obviously natural causes. Games he was in, we have 50 Cent, Blood in the Sand, Destiny 1, 2, all the expansions, Payday 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and so many more. I just wanted to...
Obviously, tons of movies too, of course. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
So
that's
a big part of, the gaming as well. And then to jump into another game that's coming out very soon, so on March 24th, we have Resident Evil 4, the remake, and it's obviously receiving some pretty rave reviews. And even Brandon was playing the demo. So, what'd you think about it so far?
Looks great. It was a lot of fun. Definitely looks like it's going to be pretty scary, for people that haven't played it before. I've played through it a few times, so I know what I'm expecting, but it looked really good. Looked like a lot of fun, and it felt harder than the last time I played it because I couldn't even get through the village. Like, I couldn't progress at all. But no, it looked great. It looks like a lot of fun. I mean, it's getting 10 out of 10s across the board, so I can't wait. It comes out next week. Definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome too with these, older games, and then they're getting like, remakes, remasters, all of that. It's great to see things kind of like cycle back, because I'm sure we all experience this. When you go and you play back some of these games, it's insane to think, this was the best that it could possibly be. And I'm sure that you guys thought that too about every system that you ever played. Like, it's never going to get better looking than this.
right. Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII remake's pretty nice game, nice looking game.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
That's a good one. I never got into the Resident Evils. I should start doing that. I heard they're really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's worth, checking into. And then just other couple quick ones. Bayonetta Origins released Friday. That's also receiving some great reviews. Persona 5, The Phantom X was announced. It's a mobile exclusive spin-off game. No release date confirmed yet. And then this is a fun one. Atari acquired Berserk, Frenzy, and 10 other classic arcade titles. And
I knew that.
I don't think we know what the others are, but I don't know what your guys' experience are with Berserk or Frenzy, but Frenzy was the first arcade that I played on at my uncle's house. So that one definitely means a lot to me, and I, of course, love Berserk.
Yeah. Yeah, so Eugene Jarvis was kind of involved in all those games back then, and Robotron and all those games, and they are amazingly designed games. I think they're addicting as heck.
Yeah, Robotron 2084, that was my first arcade game, so.
Yeah, Berserk. It's a hard game, Berserk, I'll be honest. It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah. I have to do a shout out actually, because I thought of this because I played it yesterday. So have you guys been to Galloping Ghosts in here in the Chicagoland area, the arcade?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
I want to go.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in the Chicagoland area, check it out. They have over 840 arcade machines.
Wow.
And I was playing Berserk yesterday. That's why I thought of it. But I went there yesterday for a little while. But it's just any game you grew up in an arcade is there. Anything you can think of, they have it. It's just it's amazing. Yeah.
I wonder the amount of time they spend, like, maintaining all those machines and pinball units and stuff. Oh yeah, it's got to be never ending, right?
Yeah, I mean the owner, Doc Mack, he is just so nice, and he donates and brings games to my conventions, just to help me out, and so people can play arcade machines, and he does it for many other conferences. But he has a great staff of people who can fix these machines up like they're brand new. It's just amazing. It's just crazy how they could do that.
Yeah, that's definitely a craft.
Yeah.
To be able to
oh my gosh,
the craft of losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we have,
are you guys big? I was gonna say, are you guys big pinball players or no?
I like pinball. Yeah.
I like it, but I'm not
big. Yeah, I'm not a big
but
player.
I enjoy it.
But yeah, I enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some good pinball machines out there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get one. I'm hoping this year when I also take over the garage, I'm hoping that I can get a couple pinball machines as well as even more arcades. But
oh yeah,
I'm waiting
nice.
for the warmer months, I guess.
Did you guys see that new Scooby-Doo pinball unit that came out recently?
Yeah, I saw it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Online.
That looks really good.
There's a lot of good ones. I play one of my favorites. There's been like 4 Kiss ones, but one of the Kiss ones I played. There's a really good Metallica one that I remember really liking.
Yep.
AC/DC one. They're always bands, the ones that I like the most. Like or that I played. You know, there's hundreds of them, but yeah, there's a good Turtles one, Simpsons. There's a couple Simpsons ones. So,
you know, that's one other thing I should probably bring up because it's kind of new. If I have the time, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, in the Chicagoland area, there's the Pinball Expo. It's been running for about 37 years here in Chicago, and recently, the last couple of years, the creator Rob Burke he asked me to try to get retro gaming involved in the Pinball Expo. So the last couple of years, I've been getting vendors and bringing my stuff here to the Pinball Expo. It's a slow progress. I mean, people go to play pinball; they don't go to play console games or buy retro games. But I'm doing my best to try to spread it out and get, kind of. I'm not comparing myself to the Midwest Gaming, but it's kind of, trying to get every aspect of gaming at the Pinball Expo. But the reason I brought that up is because I've interviewed and talked to Gary Stern, who makes pretty much a lot of those games you just mentioned. From Stern Pinball, and he's just a great guy. And Roger Sharp, he's got a new movie coming out. I don't know if you saw that on Hulu or something. It's a story about his life. Roger Sharp, who created. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, but if you go to pinballexpo.com, you can see the next event. It's in October.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I'm gonna write that in my phone.
Because those pinball games you mentioned are all there. I mean, they have over 500 pinball machines at one time.
Yeah, that's insane because the places around me, we have one like bar restaurant in it, where they have like seafood, but it's like 60 arcades, I'd say like 40 pinballs, and then we even have people in the comments saying, thinking inside the box says there's a shop called Cartridge Gaming that has a bunch of pinball machines in it, at least 24. So we're talking like a grand scale compared to, the ones near us, so that's...
Yeah.
We don't have any like pinball halls or anything like that near us, but barcades are really... I have to travel even for that because I live in a very, very small town, but barcades are very popular, like in the city. I just don't think there's any like pinball halls because I've definitely never been anywhere.
Yeah.
I can't think of anywhere that... I don't even know anybody that talks about pinball around here, but I just got into it through the conventions and, kind of over time got people that... They always go kind of hand in hand for some people. So, like, if they like arcade gaming, they like pinball too sometimes. So,
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to be in Chicago. I mean, the Chicagoland area is when pinball kind of started. I mean, all the big names like Williams and Bally's and Stern, they all were manufactured in Chicago, and they're all still here. So, I'm kind of lucky to play a lot of those games.
For sure.
Yeah, that's insane though to think that many.
That is insane.
You definitely go. It's like a 4-day event. I mean, it's 3 days, I guess. If you can get a VIP pass, it's 4. But it's 3 days, and you still don't have enough time to play every pinball game.
Just boom, next one. Boom.
Yeah, take a whole vacation for that.
I mean, really, yeah. One other thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know why I forgot. And that's kind of why I sort of have to go in a few minutes. I apologize, but because I have a call with this particular thing. I got involved with the International Video Game Hall of Fame. That's something that started back in 2010, I believe. And now I'm part of the board of directors and on the committee. And we've inducted pretty big names of the gaming community. We've inducted pinball machines, like the Addams Family and Elvira and all the good ones. We've kind of inducted into our Hall of Fame. So yeah, that's something also to check out if you go to this one's a hard one, but it's IVGHOF, so International Video Game Hall of Fame, IVGHOF.info. It'll tell you all the past inductees in the Hall of Fame and kind of other information on people. But I have a call in a little while with the committee, and we're going to talk about the inductees for 2023.
Oh, awesome!
So, yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll go ahead. Oh, okay. So yeah, I just wanted to thank our guests for coming out.
Yeah,
everyone
definitely.
has some great comments and everything, you know, keeping up with us, asking some information. We'll go ahead and do the plug for him. So if any of you guys are interested in that and, you know, checking out all of the awesome things that he does, especially with, you know, the convention that he puts on, the YouTube channel, just all of this really cool stuff with the Old School Gamer magazine, a video game summit, you know, the Walter Day collection, and even his books. We'll go ahead and put all of those links down below. So we'll definitely go ahead and do that. And if anyone would like to help support us as well, or just check some things out, we do also have our Patreon, which we put like our blooper reels and some extra content on there. We kind of, you know, go back and forth with the community to see what you guys are interested in for upcoming videos. We do have our podcast every single Sunday, 8 to 10-ish p.m. And then we even have merch. So we do have t-shirts on Bonfire. And then we even have Teespring where you could get coffee mugs, all kinds of different things as well, along with, you know, different t-shirts. And we do drop different merch and different designs pretty often. So I just wanted to thank everyone again, you know, for coming out and enjoying this. And there will be plenty more, you know, in the future.
We'll see you again next Sunday.